was a daily diet and calorie log. It began, of course, on January 1st. The entries ended on January 2nd. There were also 18 invitations to the White House and instructions from Sir Isaiah Berlin on how to reply to a thank-you note from the Prince of Wales after a 1985 concert in London. The first option was no reply at all, which Berlin suspected would not even be noticed. The second was the full potent manner. That is, "It was so kind of you, Your Royal Highness, to have sent me so moving an acknowledgment of the service which I was deeply honored to lay at Your Royal Highness's feet." The third possibility was a perfectly natural note with the option to add, "If you wish to, that you much enjoyed your conversation with him after the concert, whether you did or not." But after a dozen or so boxes, I noticed a couple of subtexts that extended through the whole collection. It's these that seem to me most interesting today in a world already quite different from the one he left in 2001. The first was the significance of time and place. Without the talent, temperament, brains, and stamina that most of us can barely imagine, Stern wouldn't have been Stern. But he also enjoyed an uncommonly, even uniquely good time to be an American, as well as an historically good place to be a Jew. His luck began at age 10 months, when he got to the United States 3 years before Congress slammed the golden door on open immigration. He grew up in a city with a musical infrastructure and social support system as good as any in Europe. Why go to Europe? Europe came to him. Even in the Depression and war years there was an established concert circuit, network radio included. By his early 20s he'd lucked into a relationship with Sol Hurok, a manager as talented as himself, and played the Carnegie Hall recital that got him to the major leagues. He then lucked into full employment, post-war prosperity, the GI Bill, a bumper crop of university concert series for a bumper crop of first-time college students, and even Hollywood. Post-war superpower was another comparative advantage for American artists. Washington wanted the world to know that there was more to America than money, chewing gum, and cowboy movies. Ambassadors begged Stern to visit. Foreign impresarios and summer festivals couldn't get enough of him. Technology was a multiplier, too. Propeller-driven, then jet-propelled air travel got him in hours to places that Fritz Kreisler and Maud Powell could only reach in days. The coming of the LP record made it possible for its buyers to hear him play uninterrupted movements, even whole concertos and sonatas, in the comfort of home or dorm room. The second subtext came to me incrementally as I continued on my way. What I was looking at, I realized, were Stern's answers to the questions attributed to Hillel in one of the most famous of all non-biblical texts. "If I am not for myself, who will be for me? If I am only for myself, what am I? And if not now, when?" The first question was no problem. He himself declared in his memoir that his contemporaries, Jascha Heifetz, David Oistrakh, Nathan Milstein, his protégés Itzhak Perlman and Pinchas Zuckerman, and the follow-on generation, Anne-Sophie Mutter, Gideon Kramer, and Midori, all played better than he did. That needn't be taken literally. When he was good, he was very, very good. But it was true, especially as he grew older, that some nights were better than others. He could also be self-ironic, for example about eating and talking, two of his favorite activities. First man: "I heard Isaac Stern last night." Second man: "What did he say?" He told the joke himself. From early on, self-assurance was never an issue. The second question was no problem either. The man who saved Carnegie Hall was not a man who was in it only for himself, nor was the man who put a newly independent third world Israel on the first world map, loaned instruments to needy young players, and replied personally and without condescension to a fifth grader in Oregon who wanted to know what Stern's life was like. The third question was again no problem. With the Internet still beyond the horizon, weeks might pass before he returned to what was waiting for him in New York. But in principle, when?